June 25th, 2015. Have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Kessler? Here. Commissioner Robbins?
Here.
Commissioner Dorhofer?
Here.
Commissioner Moline?
Here.
President Below.
Here. We all rise for the
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. First item this evening is the omnibus vote agenda. Items under the omnibus vote agenda are considered routine and or non-controversial and will be approved by one motion. If a separate vote on any one item is desired, will be pulled from the omnibus vote agenda and voted on separately. Items this evening are A, minutes of the special board meeting of May 28, 2015. B, minutes of the regular board meeting of May 28, 2015. C, minutes of the closed session of May 28, 2015. And D, payables and payroll through June 25th, 2015 in the amount of $712,462.14. Do I have a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
Commissioner Moline?
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
Commissioner Dorhofer?
Yes.
President Below.
Yes. Okay, next is our welcome to visitors and guests public comment period. Since we have no one, we'll move on. Financial reports for the period ending May 31st, 2015. Marla, are there any changes or additions to the financial reports?
No changes or additions, but I will just say, although these are unaudited financials, we ended the year positive with over $250,000 surplus in all funds combined. So it was a positive year.
Good to know. All right. Reports in communication, Executive Director Jeff Hoosier.
Okay, thank you. Isn't this a beautiful setting here tonight? You get a beautiful view. So after the board adjourns the regular meeting tonight, we'll have a special board workshop with our architect right here, and we'll be discussing some future direction with the Sullivan Community Center. Just an update in your packets on items that we would ask for board support tonight. We have an OSLAD resolution. That's basically a document that we need to be in compliance for our grant moving forward. And it's basically a resolution that supports that should the board give support to pursue this project, that you have the funding in place to make this project happen. Okay. You also have the annual prevailing wage ordinance, which is a required document every year that we have to get the board to approve. You have some correspondence from the village requesting use of Century Park for the annual July 4th concert and fireworks, and then also use for their annual summer celebration festival. The Deer Path Park Master Plan is in there. This is a document, again, we would ask for board support on. There are three main components of the plan, irregardless of the grant that we want to pursue, and that's the Kids Castle renovation of the playground, the tennis court renovation, and then the ball fields 3 and 4, doing some additional backstop, dugout, fencing. So those are three amenities we're definitely going to pursue. Mike is also working with some vendors on doing some filling in of the cracks and resealing some of the path from where it kind of took off from Kids Castle and then taking it north all the way up through Warrington area. July 4th parade, I think I sent you all, we're zone 2 right at the beginning of that. I think you know the routine, 9 a.m. kickoff. Commissioner Moline is wearing the appropriate attire that, if you would all please in unison do as well. We do have some nice little giveaways that we have the board, and then if you recall, the volunteer group led by Amy Lamberti is going to have some children that'll march kind of behind the board, and they'll be distributing. You have a copy of some postcards in front of you that we're going to hand out for getting people interested in buying bricks. She's got t-shirts for their kids, and they're all going to be dressed as little kings and queens, and so that'll take place, and Mike will be driving the vehicle, and so he'll be in the lineup, waiting for you guys. At our July meeting, we're gonna have playground representation we've got 2 playgrounds this fall, one at Grosse Point, the playground up nearest the ball fields, that's due for renovation, and then half of Peterson Park. Peterson Park is a 2-phase. So I think we're doing the 2 to 5 playground.
That is correct.
This fall, and then next year we'll do the 5 to 12 on that. The Hawthorne After School Program, we're full at South, and we have a waiting list actually of about 20 kids already at South, and then at the North Campus we're about 80% full. So we fully expect that site will fill up as well. You have before you an ordinance tonight on the acquisition for 950 Lakeview Parkway, and that would conclude my report. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions for Jeff?
I have a question on the Deer Path plan. I didn't see anything in the board packet about the cost for redoing and rehabbing these
Yes, we
projects.
still don't have those fully through, the architect is still getting all those prices, but I can tell you that we had cost estimates on the playground initially, and those were about $500,000. The tennis courts were about $200,000, and then the ball fields were about $150,000. So we're talking about $850,000.
Okay.
All of those funds are set in reserve and allocated for this project. We still have an offer from the village of $200,000. That is being applied towards the Kids Cast project, so that would help us. Unless, the grant comes through, then we would be obligated to put those additional amenities in. But at this point...
So at this point, it's $850,000, and...
of which 200 would be set into the village in terms of...
So are we voting on this tonight?
You're just voting on approving the master plan so that we can continue to move forward with the architect. It's one of those, a document once again, that OSPLAD is going to require the board to do to move forward. So it's a formal function of the application process.
Thank you.
Okay, anything else for Jeff? No, we're good? Okay, thanks, Jeff.
Sure.
Next up, Finance and HR Superintendent, Marla Pinero.
Thank you. I just have a brief job update for our viewers. I just want to let people know of all of our seasonal positions, lifeguards, camp counselors, maintenance positions, etc. Those have all been filled, but you can still go to our website because we have many year-round part-time positions, and some of those that are currently open include childcare teachers, after-school instructors, babysitters, weekend custodian, fitness instructor, front desk clerks, dance instructors, and birthday party attendants. Many of these positions we look for on a continual basis, so if anyone's looking for part-time work, go to our website. That's it for me tonight.
Any questions for Marla? Good. All right. Next up, Recreation Superintendent, Tom Ritter.
Good evening, everybody. A couple of quick thank yous for things that have passed. Our Kids Fishing Day held on June 6th. We ended up having 80 kids. The most we had before that, I think, was about 65, so we had a all-time high turnout. And again, I say this every year, but the Libertyville Fishing Club's instrumental in making that happen. So they bring, I think it's about 7 or 8 guys that come out and give all the instruction and the safety tips to the kids, and then they play the mentors and teach the kids how to fish and spend the morning with them, and they have a really good time. It was nice weather, which contributed to a lot of walk-ups that day, so good event. The other thank you was, this was the 6th season, I can't believe it's been 6 already, but we hosted a high school lacrosse tournament, a recruitment tournament for college coaches over at Deer Path Park, and they had 54 teams. They fill it every year, and there's a lot that goes into it, so I wanted to thank both Matt Schiller from Park Maintenance for getting those, and anyone else that might have helped from Park Maintenance to get the 7 fields up and running and making the tournament renters so happy. And then Joe Bruntmeyer, who's the key point of contact, and getting the contract put together with them. So another nice stamp on our park out there every summer. Some events coming up. The family campout is this weekend. We have 65 families. That's also another high. 55 last year was the most we had. We have 65, I shouldn't say families, but 65 reserved tent spots. There could be some people with more than one. Over at the Family Aquatic Center. The campout is Saturday night, June 27th, and Sunday morning. the 28th. It's an overnight event. Bobo's is great. They put together a pancake breakfast in the morning for everybody. We do a movie. We're showing Open Season, which is an appropriate outdoorsy movie that night for the families. Bonfire with s'mores is always a big hit, and it's the fact that it's just a dedicated event. We closed the pool early that day just for this event. It's a really nice, probably my favorite event. We will be represented again this year at Summer Celebration with the hole-in-one contest that we continue to do and people look forward to, buying a bucket of wiffle balls to hit out onto the Little Bear Lake. We will be there each night of the event. And the final event I want to mention is Summer Splash. It is held on August 7th this year, a Friday night from 5:30 to 8 o'clock. Tickets will be available in early July. It'll probably be next week. I don't have a specific day, but we're about ready to launch that. And this will be the first time that people can purchase admission tickets online, which should be a nice convenience for people. You'll still have to buy your duck race tickets that we always sell. Those will have to be done in person, but you can purchase your admission ticket online. It's $1. And again, if people wait till the day of the event, you're still welcome, but it's $5 the day of the event. A to Z Entertainment's out there with a DJ. We're replacing some of the carnival games we do with more of an inflatable games area. Inflatable games always seem to be quite popular. So we're gonna have an inflatable games area, and we'll continue to do water games in the pool with the help of our aquatic staff. It should be a nice night. We'll hope for good weather. That's always the key. And finally, I wanted to mention a project that we started last year with day camp, and it was a great success, and I only see it growing this year, is the Summer of Service camp that we have. It's one of our smaller camps. It's older kids, and the spirit of this camp is that they still do traditional games and they go on a field trip, but twice a week they do a service project. It can be anything. It can be, there's a laundry list of activities they do, but it's wonderful what they do. But last year they did a book drive. They worked with Bernie's Book Bank. I think they're in Lake Forest. Might be, yeah, Lake Forest. And since it was a first time thing and it kind of came up at camp, there wasn't a lot of time to promote it, and they still were able to collect more than 7,000 books, children's books. That's the key, is it can't be regular book, it's got to be children's books. But they collected 7,000 children's books. And this year they're going to do the same collection from July 6th to 24th. They are going to have a presence in the 4th of July parade to help get the word out, have handouts. So immediately afterwards, for 3 weeks, there'll be collection sites set up at the Park District and all the camp locations. And it's just something really good that the campers do to collect and organize. So if anyone has any cleaning out they need to do with their books, we'd love to have them. Again, they'll be giving this information out at the parade. So our goal is to collect 10,000 books this year. So, and Jeff touched on the after school. That's my report, unless there's any questions.
I have a comment. Pardon?
Yeah, push your button. You can't make a comment if you
Is
don't
there a
push your
button?
button.
No. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Tom, you submitted us an analysis of income and attendance for season pass income and daily admission income, and just have a concern. We're down for the season pass income of almost 39% compared to season pass income of 2012. We're down from 2014 to 2015 for the comparison at the same time this year, down 19%, and daily admissions is down 15%. Is this all weather related, or?
It's all
I
weather
always-
related.
Yeah, I always feel cliche to say that because it sounds like an excuse, but I sincerely believe that.
Uh-huh.
We do have a,
You know,
I would say a
I don't
history.
remember what the weather was in 2012, but
It was hot. I always, over the years, I mean several years, 10 years, I always feel that number of pass sales we always shoot for seems to be around 150,000. That's a good typical hot summer. And 12 and 13 were close, 152 and 149. That can change. That's in the comparison of how many passes are sold. That's not a lot of difference in money. But yes, 14 was poor, and we're still on a poor pace right now. And it is. It's been cool. I mean, today's a good example of it. But usually in late May, early June, you get a spell of heat that sparks pass sales or a run of admission, and we haven't seen much of that. It's been a wet season, as we all know, and it's frustrating. But yes, it's reality.
And at a certain point, you're not gonna get people to buy season passes. 'Cause
They're gonna
they finally
just-
say, you know
you're right.
what, too much of the season's gone by, I'm not getting my money's worth.
let's go as
Yeah,
we
you
go.
missed that window.
I think if you saw, I shared an article with you today from the Daily Herald of probably 5 or 6 aquatic facilities in the area. And everybody's, I mean, I was surprised, like Line is down 70%.
Wow.
Past sales that they posted. Naperville was over 50%, Kearney was over 50%. A lot of people just doing more dailies, you know, it's one of those things collectively, we gotta, you know, you just gotta pray for hot weather in May and June and then people come out. I mean, that's really the reality of any outdoor pool.
Plus, traditionally, if you have a really hot summer, the following year is when you see the pass sales increase.
Yeah.
Because then they realize I paid too many times for a
And
daily.
we do offer, every year we offer a discount for early bird. We try to get people in, we changed our fee structures this year to just regular pass sales. Jay does a very good job, a very responsible job of, you know, trying to, we're low attendance, we send people home. We're cutting out 2 weeks this year towards the end of August, because really of safety, we don't have the staff. Where we used to try to open from 4 to 8 p.m., we're just not even doing that. And you know what'll happen during those 2 weeks, it'll be 90 degrees out,
Always is.
you know.
Well, if we get a strong, hot
You get a
spell,
strong July.
we do better on dailies if you look at it financially. You know what I mean? They pay more to go daily, but you know, maybe that'll help. Being positive if we get warm weather, but.
Well, isn't part of the difference is the swim lessons being moved from FIC to Lake?
Budget-wise,
Lakeview?
yeah, that's a part of our budget, yes, no
So-
question. But does that
That's not teaching them.
reduced
Does that,
re- attendance
doesn't
for that
affect-
affect the mission? Hard to gauge, probably not too much.
That's the explanation for if you were looking at the loss for the aquatic center for 15. That's why the loss was bigger in the prior years, because that money was diverted. It was budgeted in the Family Aquatic Center, but we ended up collecting it at Lakeview.
do you think if someone's for a lesson, do they stay after? Do families stay?
That's the question. I don't think so, because there is a break in time, and then some probably do stay, but it's hard to answer that. I don't have a fact on that to say, you know, 22% of people went back, because we do clear the pool and then reopen, and did they come back in line? I don't know the answer to that.
Okay.
Any other questions for Tom? Nope. Okay. Thanks, Tom. Next up, Park Superintendent Mike Norman.
Well, thank you very much. June started off with a Parkway light check. We check all the lights throughout our park system and replaced all the lights at Lake Charles Park and Hawthorne Melody Park. They just seem to suck up light bulbs every year. The ones that we replace, a couple here and there, but Lake Charles and Hawthorne Melody have their share. Rick, our arborist, has been busy on the tree placement. Today we've removed 75 ash trees, 15 hazard trees, which could range from willows to oak trees, but they presented, you know, a definite hazard to people walking on the path and our property. Rick's introduced 13 new species into our urban forest. Tree donation and bench donation have been very, very, very strong, with 7 and 7. This spring we planted 22 trees. We plan to plant a lot more this fall. The amount of annuals planted was 1,800 annuals. As part of the ash tree removal program, you know, not only do we chip as much as we can to recycle into our shrub beds, but a lot of the larger caliper trees, instead of throwing them in the dumpster and then haul them to the dump, let them, you know, create a product. We hired a sawmill to come in and cut some of the boards for us, and they've cut them to actual dimensional lumber for us. You know, tree stakes, 2x4s, 2x6s, 2x8s, and also large dimensional lumber for our trailers. So that's an ash that was able to build. We got a plethora of those, probably about 300 of those. I don't know how many 2x4s, 2x8s of various lengths, but that's what you can do with ash. And that's, once that seasons, that'll be a very, very hard stake. So, you know,
Show and tell.
it's about,
I feel like I trumped.
you know, so, you know, we're trying to repurpose and be as green as possible. You know, instead of just recycling it and having to go in the woodshed bin, they actually create a constructive use for it. Over at the Family Aquatic Center, at the lazy river, we have our sunshade structure in for the lifeguards. It's red, and it looks real nice, along with the most beautiful decorative lighthouse. Quite nice. Some of the special programs that happened during the month of June with Tom's help, we installed new handicap porta potties upgrades at Deer Path Park and Lake Charles Park in the designated shelters. And they fit perfect. We're a little concerned because the handicap porta potties are much larger, but they fit like purpose built.
And there's one at Century too.
And thank you, one at Century. And they slid right in, very, very nice. With Marla's help, when we changed our soda machines to varsity event throughout the district, changeover went smooth. In talking with Tom on the Peak 21 tournament hosted at Deer Path Park, 54 teams equates to 236 man hours spent on field linings, custodial, garbage collection, checking the bathrooms, putting up the fencing, taking down the fencing, and they're bringing the turf, attacking the turf with new grass seed notification. We did support Carol Senti's recycling event on June 20th at Westfield Mall. We recycled everything except electronics. We had a staff member over there. On the 29th of April, we hosted Lifeline Vascular Access volunteerism over at the South Gazebo just west of Rust-Oleum. They sanded and restained that entire gazebo. It was a good program. They enjoyed doing something a little bit different. Instead of planting flowers, things of that nature, they actually got the Emerson boards down, sand it, and stain it. Then in support for Matt Laporte over at the Lakeview Fitness Center, maintenance staff did the barricades, safety cones, tents, and myself and my son conducted bicycle safety checks, which is a lot of fun. Tomorrow, over at Deer Path or Warrington Park, is Movie in the Park. It would be the unveiling of our new movie screen. We did a test setup Tuesday. A little bit more involved, but it's quite a large screen. So I invite the board members to come out and take a look at it. We'll have it up on tomorrow, and we'll have it up at the family campout at FAC. It will be quite a drastic improvement from the old bed sheet we used before. Does the board have any questions?
Any questions, Mike? We're good. Okay.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Okay, with that, we'll move on to Communications Manager Cheryl Barton.
Good evening. Our fall brochure is in its second draft. It's due to me tomorrow, so it will be completed quickly. I'd like to recognize our 6 advertisers who put ads in our brochure. They are Shotokan Karate, Allstate, Bella's Bouncies, Buffalo Wild Wings, NB Financial Bank, and Veterinary Specialty Center. We do have an entire page in there dedicated to the Kids Castle renovation. There's some before and after photos, and also how they can volunteer and donate for the project. With that being said, on July 1st, our website on the home page is going to be a blue tab. It's going to say buy a brick. So that's going to support the Kids Castle renovation. So when you click on the blue tab, and it's the big one where it says I want to, we're taking out buy a pool pass, which you can still completely buy a pool pass, but that's going to say buy a brick. And as soon as you click on it, the order form will come up. So people can start. They probably won't know too much about it till July 4th, but as of July 1st, it will be live and people can start purchasing. They have to use a credit card. They can put their inscription in there, choose their size brick, and the whole thing will be done online. That is all I have. Everybody talked about everything else. Is there any questions?
How much would a brick cost?
There's 3 sizes. So there's $75, $150, and $300. $300 is 12 by 12. What's
150 is an 8 by 8, and a 4 by 8 is $75. And just to echo that, the bricks that are in place right now at Kids Castle will still preserve those. So anybody that bought a brick 18 years ago will have those preserved, and those will be incorporated into the new design as well. So. But certainly if you want to buy a second one, for those of you that might have been in on the first go round,
And we had children. Okay, any questions for Cheryl?
Yeah, very quickly, Little Bear with Rib Fest, the website.
well, Marty's working on it.
Okay,
So he is updating it now.
okay. I mean, the suggestion would be at least at some point, even if you make the screen or the pages that are from last year, 'cause, you know, it'd be real easy. The first page is talks about the new, but then you go on to like, okay, who's gonna play?
In his last year.
And if you're not real observant, you could think that those are because it's 20, I mean, it says 2014 on there, but
Right. Yeah,
I would think we would
spoke
at least
about
put
it
under
this week.
construction after or something so that people aren't confused that,
Okay, I'll make that
I think his
suggestion.
goal is tomorrow anyway.
okay.
Yeah, we
And
talked about
again, I
zero
don't,
limits.
you know what I mean,
Yeah.
but as soon as we start marketing it, we're gonna drive some business to the website.
It's old.
Right,
It shouldn't be old, if nothing, if it should at least say under construction, as opposed to
sure.
information from last year, that's my opinion anyway,
Oh, you're correct.
thank you.
Actually, to follow up on that, you attached on your report, something from like Google Analytics about the website. I mean, I don't notice anything unusual. Is there anything that you're learning from this, that you're tweaking or changing, or?
I do notice that when we have, it's a seasonal, like I've noticed, winter, people were really going to the league standings, things like that, also fitness. Summer, the pages people are going to were aquatics, if there's a special event, they're going, most people start on the homepage. I think you see it every month. Our viewership has gone up quite a bit, from May to June, and I think it's just because we have all the summer stuff going on. It's pretty, from January to April, it's pretty much the same, but we had a pretty big increase, last month.
Do you think by changing the tab to go to the brick versus the pool pass, I could see the pool pass kind of being past its time, but is there any kind of still come to the pool or anything?
Well, there's a slide that talks about there's a photo, and on the message is always saying you can buy a pool pass. And I changed the slide for the current hours, so we've just gone to summer hours, so people can still see that slide, and right above that is Family Aquatic Center. And the first one is you can, not membership, that's fitness, but you can get your fees for the pool pass. But we just kind of thought that if people are gonna buy a pool pass, they can still do it, but that was maybe,
Right.
by the time we
right.
get to July, probably not so much.
Okay, thank you.
Great. All right, thank you, Cheryl.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Lakeview Facility Supervisor, Matt Laporte.
Good evening. As you can tell, the numbers from the key performance statistics that I keep, they're ahead from last year in terms of number of visits. Our membership is up to 2,711 from last month. Total daily drop-ins is up, and so is group exercise participation. So those are all very important things that I look at to make sure that we are trending in the right direction, which we continue to do, so allowing us to grow our revenue. At Memorial Day, we had 299 visits, which is about 90 more than we did last year. So again, that's a good number to look at. At the last board meeting, I was asked to track the number of trial memberships that we did or gave out in May, and there were 35 of those, and we converted 11 of those to active memberships, which is a success rate of 31%. I'll start graphing the past months to give us some comparison as we go along, and I'll just add that to our tracking. Let's see, we did do a promotion throughout May, which we gave away a 13th month for anybody that bought an annual pass. That got us 70 new memberships and brought in 15,000. So we tried to close the gap on the year in terms of that membership revenue, and that helped us a little bit. So that's kind of the reason for the big growth in from April to May in terms of membership. We added some television screens to our elliptical machines in our cardio room. It's a nice little upgrade for us in there. And then also we put in a new, I think I mentioned this last month, but just put in a new Stairmaster. We had aged out another, an older one. And then last, on May 31st, we had our first Mighty Kids Triathlon, which was a big success for us. Had 96 kids complete the race out of 100 participants that registered. With considering the weather, I think that's a big success. Very cold day. we're gonna do this again next year. The survey results were, out of the park. Everybody really loved it. The kids had a lot of fun, and we really generated a lot of fun buzz in the community on that day. So it was good all around. And I think that concludes my report. I'll answer any questions.
I'd like to add one fact, as I've been giving things on our end of the year budget, and just to show what a great budgeter Matt is. He had budgeted $828,000 for our fitness center revenue, and we brought in $828,048. So he missed it by $48, so he's gonna really work on this, but that was pretty amazing. And he came in over as well, so.
Better next year.
Do I dare ask about expenses that were budgeted
That's irrelevant.
and actual?
Well, we came in under,
Okay.
the
good.
loss was less than expected. So.
I just wanted to say, I think converting to 11 from the 35 to make it a 31% is a great job. I mean, it speaks well to the whole center for people to come in and try it and to get that big of a conversion rate for people to buy a membership is fantastic.
And I feel that our approach works for this community, and we're not hard sale, and we're not, kind of like a used car salesman attacking you at the door. We really truly let people try out the facility and just be a warm, welcoming environment, and let our staff be who they are, which allows people to feel very comfortable at our facility. So.
Nice job.
Anything else? Okay, thanks, Matt. All right, with that, we will move on to unfinished business. Jeff, do you have any? No. No? All right, new business, prevailing wage ordinance. I need a motion to approve ordinance 5-15, the prevailing wage ordinance.
So moved.
Second.
Commissioner Dorhoeffer?
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
Commissioner Meline?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
President Below?
Yes. Next up, I need a motion to approve the OSLAD grant resolution 3-15.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion? Roll call.
Commissioner Meline?
Yes.
Commissioner Dorhoeffer?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
President Below?
Yes. Next is I need a motion to approve the Village of Vernon Hills request to use Century Park for summer celebration and 4th of July.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Dorhoeffer?
Yes.
Commissioner Meline?
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins?
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes.
President Below?
Yes. Next, I need a motion to approve the amenities recommended for the future development of Deer Path Park.
So moved.
You can't do it.
Second.
Discussion.
We're doing all 6 courts?
Yes.
No additional parking?
No.
They took a beating.
That's the right thing to do.
Okay. The parking or
The parking.
yeah, I don't know.
Just because something's not popular doesn't mean it's not the right thing to do.
I would just share with you the survey results we got, the community meetings we had.
Mhm.
It was overwhelming, Dave, people opposed to the parking. I mean, overwhelming to the point of 9 out of 10 people that approach us at those meetings.
Mm-hmm.
I think, those of you who were in attendance, that's what we heard a lot about that. Secondary to Kids Castle.
It's a knee-jerk reaction to parking, because the tennis courts don't get used. I mean, some of them do, but very, very seldom do all 6 get used at one time.
And that
So
was
it's a
just-
knee-jerk reaction to, oh, parking? No, we don't want parking. And it's people not understanding the need. When we have tournaments there, when we have, lacrosse, we're all over the place, and it's a mess in that area. And it's a mess that spills over into the community. And for as little as that 5th and 6th court is used, for as much as the parking area gets used and that area gets abused when it is We did a great job this time of putting fence up so they can't abuse it. But that's just a lot of work to do to try to preserve, so I think it's a mistake.
Okay. So I have a motion and a second. Anybody, any other discussion? Roll call, please.
Commissioner Meline,
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins,
Yes.
Commissioner Dorhofer,
No.
President Baloo.
Yes. Okay, I need to find, I move approval of ordinance number 6-15, approving the purchase of the real estate improvements at 950 Lakeview Parkway and authorizing execution of the agreement of sale and purchase for said real estate.
So move.
You have a motion, you move, so.
Right, I move.
Second.
I need a
Second.
Commissioner Meline,
Wait,
I have,
wait, hold on, I didn't say discussion. Okay, go ahead, Bruce.
I have a couple of things.
Shoot.
We'll still be responsible for the last year of real estate taxes because we're always a year behind, so we'll have to pay the seller's real estate taxes. Will we leave enough, be sure to leave enough in escrow to cover, you know, an estimate plus any increase?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And have we gotten clearance for the hazardous, the underground, to make sure everything is all proper for that?
Yeah, there's a phase 1 environmental study done.
Well, that was done in 2012, I think.
Right.
Has there been a current one?
There was one done by Rust-Oleum within the last year.
Okay.
And they did both properties because they had interest in the OPA site and everything's compliant.
Okay, good.
We also had it approved through Vernon, our risk management, and our counsel there that reviewed it just to make sure that everything was fine.
Anything else? Good. Any other questions? All right, roll call, please.
Commissioner Dorhofer,
Yes.
Commissioner Meline,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins,
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler,
Yes.
President Baloo.
Yes. Next up, I need a motion to approve the WW Granger invoice in the amount of $235.76.
So, go ahead.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Kessler,
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins,
Yes.
Commissioner Dorhofer,
Abstain.
Commissioner Meline,
Yes.
President Baloo.
Yes. All right, and then next are commissioner comments. Commissioner Meline, anything this evening?
Not.
Okay. Commissioner Robbins?
No.
Commissioner Kessler?
Yes, I just want to say, pulling into the parking lot, and looking over at the community garden, I think looks just great. I think the flowers and what they're growing and everything just looks like a really great thing. I didn't see anyone out there tending their garden, but it looks wonderful.
They do.
Yeah, I'm
It's a
sure
little
they
wet
did.
tonight.
It was a little
Yeah,
wet
get
tonight,
their
they had a lot of rain.
Shins and mud if
That
they're out
looks
there right
great.
now.
There's no mud out there.
That's it.
All right. Commissioner Dorhofer? Nothing? Okay, I have a couple things. One, last night I attended the Vernon Hills Sports Club monthly meeting. They actually had one. So at that meeting, they passed their bylaws, which Jeff had reviewed. I don't know if anyone else in your staff reviewed them as well, but we seem to think everything was okay there. And they're moving along. Their lacrosse program did very well. And right now, they asked if we could put a little bid in to get some registration for football. So they're looking for more football players. So, and then next, I have one other thing I'd like to get done tonight. I'd like to recognize Commissioner Dorhofer for his 10 years of service with the district. So, in recognition and appreciation of outstanding contributions and unselfish devotion for the advancement of parks, recreation, and leisure in the Vernon Hills community, Dave, we thank you for your 10 years of service.
And you're allowed to smile.
Thank you.
I almost dropped.
Speech, Dave?
Nope. Asked you not to do it.
I don't think direction well.
There's as good as you're getting tonight.
And yours. It's a commendable effort. Are we going into closed session?
No.
No, there's no closed session? All right. With that, then I need a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call.
Commissioner Meline.
Yes.
Commissioner Robbins.
Yes.
Commissioner Kessler.
Yes.
Commissioner Dorhofer.
Yes.
President Baloo.
Let's eat cake.
Okay.